Okay, folks, let's get the ball rolling by setting up our studio. First of all, I'm going to create a cube, and this is going to be our main studio, and I really wanted to make it as big as possible. So let's X dimension something like 6,000 centimeter. For the Y dimension, something like 4,500, and for our Z dimension, something like 6,000. Okay, now we have this. It's a really big and huge cube. And the next thing, let's hit NB to have our edge selection and have our edge in our scene display or our shading lines if you don't like using shortcuts. This is this part. The next thing I'm going to hit C or click on this button here called Make Editable. Now we converted our primitive object to an editable poly. When we have this, I am going to select my cube, go to your axis center. If you don't have your axis center here, you can go to your mesh, axis center, and click here, but I just have it in my viewport, in my layout. So click on the axis center and make sure to make the Y negative 100. Hit execute, and as you can see, your axis is right here. Close the axis center. The next thing I'm going to do, as you can see now, the value is negative 2250, which is half of 4500 that we had for our Y dimension. So I'm going to make this, as you can see, it's kind of lower in our lower than our floor and 0 point. So I'm going to make sure the Y value is 0 and hit enter. So this is the new position of our cube. Then I am going to go to my polygon level, select this upper polygon. You can go to your live selection, select this upper polygon, delete it. And now it's time to go to our edge selection or our edge mode. And I'm going to hit U and L. And right now I'm in my loop selection. Again, you can go to your select and access the loop selection from here. So let's select these edges down here. Then I'm going to my live selection tool and select these edges all around your cube. Okay, great. Now that you have those edges selected, right click and click on bevel. As you can see, the shortcut is MS. Okay. Now when you select your bevel tool, as you can see, your cursor has changed, and you can click in your viewport and drag, or you can use these sliders here. I'm just gonna click and drag, and as you can see, our cube is changing. So I'm going to something like this. 750 I think is not too bad. And the next thing is the subdivisions. I'm gonna add more subdivisions so we have a bit more smoother shape. Let's go to something like 10. I think that is great. And I'm gonna get back to my modal mode. There we go. We have our basic studio setup, and if I add a cube, you can see it's a really huge studio that we have here. I'm gonna delete this cube and double click on the name, and let's type in there studio. Okay, and we can start creating a new layer here. Double click, and I'm gonna name this layer my scene setup or scene elements, whatever you are happy with. And let's double click on the color and give it a nice vibrant color like blue, and hold down studio, click on the studio and put it under this layer. There we go. Now we have this cube and this studio in a layer, and we can have much more control over it. And let's just for the next just add a simple area light. Select your move tool, move it up. Now you can rotate it. Hold on shift so you have rotate your area light by 10 increments. Select your scale tool and make it a bit bigger, and let's just move it down a bit more. And the next thing is to select your light and go to detail tab. Down here you got this fall off. Make sure your fall off is based on inverse square clamped. And now you can see you have this amount of fall off. I'm just going to select these guys and just make it a bit smaller so it doesn't go forever, and put it just a bit down so we have our floor completely being lit. Okay, so in this lesson we basically set up our studio, add a simple light, and actually let's name this light our main, or let's name it our test light. And that's it. In the next lesson we are going to be setting up our main cloner and also talking about the proxy setup. So see you in the next lesson.